Number 7 in the top 10 reasons to lightweight roll was, I thought weed reduction was a big one, but this one actually shocked me even more. And I discovered this one in 1995, where I had plots that I rolled 3 times a week compared to plots that I never rolled. And when we got into the heat of the summer, this was after about 2 months of rolling, like I said, 3 times a week, and it got hot and dry, and we got localized dry spots, we found that the plots that were rolled 3 times a week had less localized dry spot than the plots that were not rolled. When I saw this, and I believe the first year I saw this was 1995, I was pretty sure that that was just a fluke, or as we'd say in statistics, an outlier, and I would never see that again. Lo and behold, in 1996, when it got dry again, the plots that were rolled 3 times a week had significantly less localized dry spot than the plots that were not rolled. And we saw it again and again and again. Why would that happen? Why would rolling decrease localized dry spot? Well, back in 1995, 96, 97, we could just theorize, and it was hard to figure out, and I never really could kind of put my finger on it. Finally, I took some soil samples into the lab to check on bulk density. In other words, are we creating compaction, and do some infiltration. And I found that when I rolled 3 times a week, I didn't increase compaction. I also found that I didn't decrease infiltration, so that was all good. But when I put them on something called pressure plates, I found that the rolled plots were retaining more moisture. I found it odd that I'd be retaining more moisture and I didn't increase compaction, because I thought it'd have to be compacted if I was retaining more moisture. So I had a hard time figuring that one out. So this eluded me for quite a while. Finally, in 2000, I took some root samples, and I found that when I took the root samples, the plots that were rolled 3 times a week had significantly more root mass where I rolled. Well, if I have more roots, that means I might have more moisture holding capacity, which makes sense that I would have less localized dry spot. So that's kind of how I kind of figured that out on my own, and I hope that fits. We now know today from research done at Michigan State, University of Tennessee, University of Connecticut, University of Arkansas, that where we roll on a frequent basis, that through these new spectrum, or there's other ones as well, TDRs, we know that we are retaining more moisture, which could be, of course, why we'd have less localized dry spot. I also like to say that on all these plots, and I think it's important that I say this since I was talking about we didn't have any more compaction, these all my research plots are always top dressed every 2 or 3 weeks during the growing season. If they weren't top dressed, could we get compaction? Possibly. But as I know, most golf courses roll or top dress every week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks anyway. But that's number 7, less localized dry spot by rolling.